first impression of the script was, because this is a really unique animated movie, and especially the blend of the music with the story here. So did you get a clear sense of what it was when you first read the script?
Yeah, I think so. It was originally pitched to me as Beauty and the Beast if he stayed the Beast at the end. And I right away thought, oh, this is great, because this is a modern fairy tale. You know, it's for the times now. Yeah, I think it was all there. I loved my character. I loved that she was the anti-fairy princess, and she was rebellious and independent, and you know, didn't want to be rescued and didn't need the Prince Charming, and you know, she had her sword. I loved it. I loved all the themes.
And I actually, when I first did it, it was kind of there wasn't really a script. It was kind of just like a paragraph, and so it actually evolved. I mean, the basic ethos of the whole film was there. Yeah, this kind of subverting a story and a kind of patriarchal story. But actually, it was fascinating to watch and feel it just change, and some things would go and other new things would happen, and even until quite late stages. Actually, the last recording I did, I did some stuff because a character's, my mum. The Maya Rudolph plays my mum, and she wasn't my mum before. She was just like a person there, but they made her my mum.
So the character didn't have a mom before?
Well, I'm sure you must have at some juncture, but she wasn't around. She wasn't around, and then all of a sudden that character became my mum.
Good, that's
a
great character.
I like
that, yeah.
Like curveballs.
I feel like your character also requires one of the bigger vocal ranges in this. How is it for you kind of experimenting and maybe figuring out how to nail both sides of him and making him feel like the same person still? Or
yeah, it was quite a sort of challenge. I mean, you have to, I mean, and the thing is, he sounds actually very different at certain points. But I think by the time he sounds different to what you're used to, there's a reason for that. He's kind of in love, or he's softening or something. But it is difficult to sing in character, especially when the character's not really you. Like, and for someone who's sort of talking like this at the beginning, it's kind of weird to suddenly burst into a frothy song, but that's why we get the big bucks.
Yeah. How about doing some of the action scenes? Because the whole idea of doing dialogue and the singing sounds really appealing to me, but then I think about, like, I don't know, huffing and puffing and making weird sounds to sell action sequences, and that sounds just painfully awkward.
It is sometimes. Yeah. Usually you save it till the end of the day so that you don't blow your voice out. And I always feel like I'm going to pass out, though.
Yeah.
Like I get lightheaded. Yeah, because you have to hyperventilate, you have to make all this noise and exert yourself, and then by the end I'm like,
and there's that thing where you normally do, say you're doing a line, you maybe do it 2 or 3 times, and then they'll say something. When you're like doing huffing and puffing, you just go, And you don't know whether that's 1 or that's maybe 2. So you just keep I would always kind of, it'd be exhausting.
It's exhausting. I always end up laughing at myself. I can never take it as far as they want me to go because I just break and go. Because I'm just imagining them in the control booth listening to
they're all
this
like
crazy person.
And now, just to wrap up, I'm absolutely dying to ask about Westworld because the viral marketing for it so far, we've just seen a little bit, but I'm just absolutely fascinated. And you have a really interesting character that I imagine requires some sort of unique approach.
It's really wild. It's wild to play that kind of character. You have to think about so many other things that you never had to think about.
What is she?
I'm a robot.
You're a robot?
Yeah.
Ooh.
So coming from that place and a place of programming and being real but slightly artificial is where she's not like a rope. She's very, very human. But there's just little tiny things that you have to kind of be reminded of, and it's really fun.